My brother just trust me.
No.
Well, we could park over here, but Thomas live like in the cut over here in these little buildings right here.
Well, you been here, but you don't have his number?
Come on. Door to door. My name is Thomas Jones. I live on the west side of Baltimore, and I've been a father for 4 years. And in West Baltimore, being a father is a little tricky. Everyone will look at us as fathers as a union or a unity that we aren't really like present in our child's life. And I'm trying to like show differently that all fathers aren't like that. And I've been in my child's life ever since he's been born, and I have not been longer than a week away from him. Honestly, I've been wanting to be a father. I know it sounds crazy, but I've been wanting to be a father ever since maybe the age of 16. Like just wanted to be a parent, just to provide for someone. I vision myself teaching my son as much as trades that I learned. Maybe he can learn to be an entrepreneur, be his own man. You don't need anyone, you don't need anything. You can grab everything from the ground up and you can make it. I would love for him to have his own talents that I can accommodate him for. I can push him of his dreams, and I would love that.
Carol Ott.
Across the street, they had kids, so I used to go over there, play with them a lot, and I used to just be out here. This was like how it is now. It's just really quiet and like just chill.
I think under the best of circumstances, raising a teenager in Baltimore is difficult. So Baltimore can be extremely difficult when you're raising children, particularly black children, particularly black teenage children. I remember Miles not being particularly happy with his original elementary school because it was predominantly white.
You know, it was just weird seeing a bunch of white kids, and then there's me and like 2 other black kids in the class. So it's kind of like, why is this like this? You know, when I moved schools, I moved to George Washington right here, which was majority black. So that was just, it was just different. You know, going from a majority white school with black kids in there to a majority black school with like 1 or 2 white kids in there. So it's just different.
Miles has developed a true sense of identity and self, particularly when it comes to embracing his blackness in a positive, strong way.
There's a lot more that comes with it than just being a black male. And then living here in Baltimore, there's a difference.
There are so many presuppositions about the black male that they're already emasculated, already castigated, already ridiculed and rebuked. And so there's a mentality that has to happen. So the challenge becomes mental and emotional, that they're dealing with trying to be a man first and then being a good father.
So my call to action is get involved, have conversations, sit down with your children and listen to the concerns and the issues that they are dealing with, and show up role model. And if you can't, then bring them around people that you believe will be a better role model until you can get where you need to be in order to be that role model for them.
Being a mentor, there's so many things for children to overcome, and so it is your job to make sure that you stay up to date on what is going on so that you can always stay ahead, so that you can teach those children how to overcome those things.
Even though amidst the murder and homicide and violence and hostile environment, it's still a joy to be a father in Baltimore.
Let him know, Lord, that you're there for every step that he takes. And we thank you, we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Hallelujah.
We need fathers. We need men. We need fathers. We need men. We need fathers. We need men. We need fathers.
It's Devontae Harris, aka Primetime Taz from East Baltimore, Perkins Project. I have 1 child.
right now. He's 4 years old, going on 30 because he think he's grown. The day I heard I was gonna be a father, I was I was kind of excited. It was like this exciting feeling, like, oh shit, I'm really having a kid. Like, I know so many homies that's either dead or locked up and their kids' lives are forever affected because of some of the decisions that they made. You know what I mean?
So Promise Heights is a U.S. Department of Education Promise neighborhood. It's a place-based initiative that receives federal funding to promote healthy outcomes for children and families in this specific neighborhood in West Baltimore of Upton Druid Heights. So we work in 5 schools in the neighborhood with children from birth through college and career. So the idea is that we provide a pipeline of services to families from even preconception through when their child is ready to graduate high school.
Making sure that, he's taken care of as far as eating, play with him, talk to him, read to him. I've been a parent I have a son that's 36. He's be 1 year the 29th of this month. It's simpler now than it was back then raising a child. I never raised a child by myself before, ever. Being as though it's my age, the difference is you have to have time to spend with the child.
Back then, the children was more respectful, more stable, because a lot of them had dads in the home. Today it's like single mamas. But it depends on how you raise your kid. What do you want for your children? We have shared on a lot in our meetings. And then downstairs, how we do with the kids. I used to do that with my children when they was coming up, jump rope, and you got to spend playtime. But you got to let them know I'm not your friend, I'm your mother. You got to keep that thing real. Because if once you let that go, you ain't have nothing. But Promise Heights has taught me a lot. They have been there for me in so many ways.
Folks are taking how they've been parented and then either doing that again or trying not to do what their parents did. And I think most people are somewhere in the middle and trying to figure that out. But there's a lot of, it can be difficult. There's a lot of trauma.
My first 3, they're the ones that's in their 30s. We was very stern because my mother was stern on me. So I role modeled after my mother, what she taught me. So we were very stern, we was big on family, eat together, pray together, go to church together. When they met friends, I had to know the mother, the father, I had to go into the house, I had to scope out, scan out, the dynamics, if they were Christian based, that's what I preferred. My children my older ones to hang around, I didn't believe in letting them watch a lot of TV, listen to any kind of music. I was just just wanted the best for them and didn't want to just pour a lot of negativity.
The sunset is nuts.
My name is Willis Abar. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I was raised in Brooklyn, New York, and for the last 10 years I've been residing in Baltimore, Maryland. Fatherhood is everything. Yeah, I don't know what words I can necessarily put to it. I could probably talk about it for hours, but it's a learning. I think, and I say this all the time, I think Elliot teaches me more than I teach him. And the beauty of that is that now I learn from anybody, because if I could learn from a 6-year-old, I'm going to learn from absolutely anybody. And I think he teaches me a lot more because, those fresh eyes see the world so differently. You could just take so much from there. Listen to your children. Listen to them. Put that phone away. Throw that phone in the water. Like, get rid of all distractions. Get away from the TV and spend one-on-one time with your children. Like, that's just the most important thing you're ever gonna do. People think that, oh, I provide child support. Like, man, I don't even want to curse, but those kind of dads piss me off. That they think that child support is enough. Like, oh no, I pay for this, I pay for that, and that's nah. And I know a few of those, and that's the reason why I say it, because I seen that as an example, and I was like, I'm never gonna do that. Pay attention to your children, listen to them. You know, and stop yelling at them. Don't yell at your children, because they're not gonna want to talk to you. Like, stop yelling at the kids. They got something to say. Like, really, really listen. When Elliot gets upset, I'll get on one knee. I get exactly on his level, and I look him in his eyes, and I tell him, like, I feel you. Like, let's talk. And I think that we underestimate how smart kids are. Mm-hmm. We really, really do, because they have so much to say, and like, they're their own person. And you know what we could do as adults, as parents, the best thing we could do is to nurture that. And let me listen to him. Let me hear what he has to say while you're playing around, or while you're coloring in your coloring book, or while you're reading the book, or while you're playing the games. Like, he's gonna come out and he'll say certain things, and he'll ask certain questions, and I see this happen on a daily basis. Like, parents are not listening to their kids, and if they are, they're listening to like what they want to listen to, and then they yell at them for everything else, and it's like, that's not parenting.
Oh man, what a marvelous day. Taking a stroll with my son. Me being a father, I'm actually learning this all by myself. No one taught me, no one gave me really like tips, trades. I had to learn. I had to really throw myself out there and teach myself, read my own books, had to go to my own classes, have my own sessions, even learn from mothers. That's how I got mine, is my information and my education as far as childcare, even being a parent.
My son don't even live here. His mom decided to move down South Carolina and raise him down there. He just up here with me for the summer. You know what I mean? So she can work more hours, she can do her, because she just lost her mom. I was like heartbroken when she told me she was moving, you know what I mean? Because it was like, I was so used to being a parent every day. Now, every time he come back, it felt like I got to start over as a parent. As a mother, she had to find a babysitter. She had to plan it out. She had to do all this extra stuff. You know, being an everyday father, I wouldn't mind going through that same thing. I mean, I had a lot of male figures in my life, but they wasn't my father. It just told me to just be what I didn't have, and that's being an everyday father, or just being a father as much as I can to him. I really want our generation to start raising kings. I always say, if you a street nigga and your son grow up and be a street nigga, you ain't raising right. You know what I mean? So we just gotta start raising kings.
I met Miles actually a few years ago, I think at our summer camp. It's called, I think, well, at the time it was called the Eddie Conway Liberation Institute. So I remember meeting him there, but I also remember meeting him a few other times, like getting interviewed by him. Nowadays, I think that the images of black male role models are, you know, they're based in things that aren't reality for a lot of us. And the other thing too is, I think there were lots of questions about identity that I had as a young person, because even though both of my parents are black, you know, being lighter skinned in Baltimore, and you know, there's a much deeper need for black men to see themselves in more positive images that we actually feel like I had a lot more access to when I was younger compared to now.
Being mixed is already a challenge, because it's like, you don't know if you're white, if you're too white for white people, too black for black people. You know, it's you gotta have some type of balance or whatever. But black was, this is supposed to be this one way, black is this, and this is all black is. But no, obviously it's not, because there are different black people that do different things.
Miles is authentically brilliant by himself. I'm sure that with or without me he'd have been good, but I'm sure that I would like to think that my presence helps, you know, motivate him and push him along.
Having a mentor it's good for a lot of reasons. You know, you have somebody that you don't want to keep complaining to your mom about this, and it's stuff that you might not want to talk about with your mom.
I feel like there's a lot of particularly young black men, like we don't have a lot of older black men who are close enough in our age that we can see ourselves in.
Really just having that person to go to, just having a person to go to whenever you need them.
I think you already have a vision of what you want to become and what you see. I think you just got to be confident in yourself to stick to it. Because when you become a dad, you're going to be amazing at it. And when you start your career, it's going to be amazing. You know, and I think you already kind of see it. I just think you got to be confident in yourself to stick with it.
Yeah.
Because you already well on your way, brother.
Yeah.
Big man on campus, huh? That's what I be calling him. I call him big man on campus, or Tyler Bills, for real. And you know he gonna be a big money man. High five, no.
Hi, Mom.
High five. Take him to a doctor, get him evaluated, and for them to tell me that he was diagnosed with autism really put me like in a mindset, put me on a pause. So, because honestly, I was really distraught about it. Like a parent having a child, you know, everyone has thoughts or have dreams or goals for their children. Oh, I want my child to be like this. They're gonna think like this. I want this. But having that, it kind of like threw everything, all that out of the window, and it was hard to like really deal with that for the first year. He likes to run and he likes me chasing him. So he like chasing, he loves building, he loves puzzles. I've been doing tattoos for about, 7 years now. So that's been like my main hustle, and now it's going towards like a career. And I don't have to worry about it. I come make my own time, my own boss. It really works out for me. What can I do? He whines, he cries, and it's hard to really tell what he wants since he doesn't talk clearly or verbally the way I want to. I mean, he communicates when he's hungry. He'll pat his stomach, he'll pat his mouth to indicate that he's hungry. But it's a little challenging dealing with it.
My older kids growing up, they did conceal a lot of stuff because I was so rigid, so strict. So they did a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
They would hide a lot of stuff from my mom. And but with the relationship I have with my mom, I always tell her everything. So it's just like she's not not very judgmental or things like that. So I know like I could share anything with her.
Now with Omega, I'm more lenient. I'm not as rigid and stern. I sort of like have a balance. And I think I'm more, because of that experience with the older ones, taught me what not to do with the younger ones. So it helped me have a balance and just be more open-minded.
I'm a beast when you turn me on. Came to the future, Cybertron.
I think having me for a mom in some ways has been beneficial to Miles, only because I don't try to fit him into some sort of box with his identity. I want him to really embrace who he is. Miles is the baby.
Reality, I love my son, and he's my growth. Watching him, watching the energy actually makes me feel good about it. Makes me feel good. They actually see that, when I was a kid, we was always outside, and he loves being outside. So it makes me happy seeing that. No, come on, you just gave up? No, or play too much?
High five?
Yeah, high five.
I don't know, I'm not that strict dad. I'd rather be the cool dad. Let's have fun, let's wrestle, let's throw myself on the floor, let's have a good time, and I'll make them laugh, and we just enjoy ourselves. Discipline when you have to, but try not to keep it so serious, because we're raising the next generation, and where we as parents have full control of how far our kids go and how much they're gonna do with their lives. So might as well make the best of it. Happiness is everything, love is everything.